This week we are back in the east of Scotland, but we're not hanging about in the Kingdom of Fife, we're getting the train south. We are heading to Edinburgh in search of the city's forgotten Wild West, something I only heard about recently, so fingers crossed that it actually turns out to be worth the trip. So you've seen the trains, there's some planes, and now it's time to go and get on a big maroon automobile. It's been a while since I last got a bus in Edinburgh, and this big maroon beastie is our chariot for today. So let's head upstairs to the top deck, because fundamentally I'm just a big kid, as the bus takes us through the heart of the city, past some of its most iconic landmarks. And from up here you get to look down on the tourists at the Scott Monument and the National Gallery of Scotland before we get to the end of Prince Street, take a left turn and head up towards our destination. Ooh, nice church. I think we'll have a closer look at that a wee bit later on, but for now let's get cracked on up this hill. We are in Morningside, which is part of Edinburgh, looking for something that absolutely clearly does not belong here. But unsurprisingly, what I'm looking for is not actually here. Let's see if we can find it. Great start to this week's episode, eh? We've tried to be original and clever. Now we're just going to go with all the cliches of Edinburgh. So this is something you might have seen before. I've never seen it before. I've just been told it exists, to be honest, by Bex. So yeah, going for a wee look. And it's down one of these wee lanes, but I'm going to try not to get run over. Actually, it's down this wee lane that van was just coming out of. This is Edinburgh's Wild West, believe it or not. It's now there's a garage down here, so I'm going to look like a bit of a gimp talking to myself. This was actually done as an advert for a furniture shop once upon a time, but it's yeah, it's pretty cool. Not quite as cool as I was hoping, to be fair, but yeah, Wild West, the cantina and the furniture shop. And countless chances to get run over. There you go, you want to go to Ed Newby's Grain, Horses and Livery. There's the blacksmith shop as well. It's actually pretty cool. It was all a bit derelict. I think they're stabilising, if not exactly fixing up. Yeah, so that was that less content worthy than I was hoping, to be fair. Planning to get a good chunk of video out of this place. There's not an awful lot to see. Yeah, the blacksmith shop again. And yeah, I've done all that already. Let's go and find something else. There's the jail. You want to go to jail? Right. Yeah, Gibbering now. I'm going to go and look at the charity shops. That sounds like a much better idea. A sign up there says Wells Fargo. That was deeply underwhelming. Next, more garages and car repair places up there than anywhere else. Yeah, that's talk about killing the buzz. Right, let's go and have a look at Morningside, which is a very, very historic and very posh part of Edinburgh. And apparently, if you believe what you read on the internet, the furniture shop that was up there was there until the 1990s, until they opened a massive IKEA on the edge of Edinburgh, and that kind of killed it. While we're here, it'd be rude not to go for a wee look in the Halloween-themed charity shops. And there's me. Hello! Oh, I've not seen that before. Netflix. Yeah, have to check. Don't think it's worth £5. Oh, vinyl collection. I've got that one. Has it got the cards or the $1 billion note? No, neither. That was one of those charity shops where things are actually more expensive than they are on eBay. That's not how charity shops used to work. The universal unit of charity shop cost. The scenic game. Oh, that's not bad. £4. Got one of those already, so not buying another one. Lots of railway books in the Oxfam bookshop. The railway navies. Oh, remember that. That's given me a hint for someone that I can show you on the way down the road tomorrow. Or Sunday rather, it's Friday today on my calendar. By your calendar it doesn't matter. As I mentioned before, this is a very posh and affluent part of Edinburgh, and the charity shops are all laid out more like little boutiques than the charity shops that we know and love elsewhere. But it's worth a wee rake around. They have got some very, very nice and lots of designer gear. I saw this cream jug, and I've found these things digging tips with the blue and white stripy ones, but they didn't have a thing on the bottom that said microwave safe. This is a bit moderner. It's always really cool in these shops finding things that you sort of remember from your own youth. I'm pretty sure that I had these books. I checked the date and they're early 1970s, so that's very possible. A bit of Dr. Seuss with a wocket in his pocket. And that was clearly once somebody's pride and joy, now languishing in a charity shop, hopefully going to a good home. Those people over there are tourists taking photographs, and I think they're heading for the Wild West Street. They're going to be a bit disappointed. That grand building over there is Morningside Library. We're going to head down Morningside Road back to Prince Street. Well, so far the charity shops have been very interesting, but also very expensive. British Red Cross, you are up next. Again, no, £7, £6, nah.
Ah, wow, right next to that there's the Bethany shop, and right next to that there's cancer research. Let's go for a week. World of Frankenstein. This is better prices for sure. Still haven't bought anything. Been in about 6 or 7 shops. Right, cancer research. You are the last hope of Morningside. Found this, £3. Just googled it, and that's a good price, I think. Morningside was once upon a time a wee village outside Edinburgh. Obviously it's not anymore, but if it was a wee village outside Edinburgh, that means there's got to be a... Oh look, it's a graveyard. Oh look, there's a sign. Right, this might be time to see, if you want to see more of this place, head over to Places for the Past. I'm going to have a quick week round here, and yeah, I'm not going to bore you guys with it, because that would be bad.
So as I mentioned before, if you want to see more of that graveyard, Places for the Past, if you want to see more of me wandering about Morningside, stay here.
So much amazingly cool stuff in that shop. Oh, Doctor Who stuff. Oh. I could spend a lot of money here, but I'd better not.
This was the Marie Curie shop, and it was more like a really well stocked vintage and retro game shop than a charity shop. It had some amazing stuff.
That's the beauty of angling game, looked really good, but it was, guess what, £45. No. I think I'm going to see anything as cool as that today, but 45 quid is quite a lot. Oh, there we go, there's a wee bit of history. I just crossed the road, risk getting run over for the sign. The Bourstone, where the Royal Standard was last picked for the muster of the Scottish Army on Boroughmuir before the Battle of Flodden, which we lost spectacularly. That must be it up there. That is the Bourstone, that is. I bet you're impressed. Heading uphill before we head downhill back towards the heart of Edinburgh and Princess Street. I'm going to show you a thing up here which is famous for anybody from Edinburgh for reasons that, yeah, it's just something everybody in Edinburgh knows. You can see there is quite a big and impressive church. And if you look over there in front of us, there is quite a big and impressive church. And just beside us, there is quite a big and impressive church. And we're not done yet. I was trying to get all 4 in at once. That is number 4 in front of us. This part of Edinburgh is called Holy Corner. You'd never ever guess why if I hadn't told you. Such a sort of artisan, bespoke part of Edinburgh. Lots of wee cafes, lots of wee coffee shops these days. Every second shop is a coffee shop.
And always lowering the tone, there's a Greg's.
There are some really nice streets and properties in this part of Edinburgh. All all very expensive. As I keep saying, it's an expensive area. Oh, chest, heart and stroke. Let's go and have a look at another charity shop, shall we? Do you like some Turton tea? Well, that's quite nice, isn't it? That's, yeah, £20 for the teapot. That is actually worth it, that's cool. It is kind of a throwback to a dark and distant past when lots and lots of little shops instead of a few supermarkets. Okay, it's not quite the same because they're mostly restaurants and hair studios and stuff and coffee shops, as I said, but it's still quite an interesting vibe up here, quite chilled. It's really strange that once this was all like little villages and open ground and had a big quarry apparently. Now it's Bruntsfield Links, which is quite a nice park, and there's houses all the way from Edinburgh up to way behind me, as you've just seen. It's been quite a long walk. Part of the reason that this particular part of Edinburgh survived without getting anything built in it was the game of golf. 2 of the oldest golf clubs in the world were actually established here, and they've always had a bit of political influence, so the council would not let anybody build where the golf course was. But strangely, they did let people dig quarries. Yeah, that little green thing down there, that little green building, is the old golf starters sort of office booth box thing behind, and behind it, yeah, another church. This is such a nice place, and because Bex is otherwise engaged today, I haven't had to do any running like I did yesterday. I mean, Bowness Park Run was quite nice, but I'd rather be wandering about with my hands in my pockets listening to music. I've never really noticed how grand and ornate that church is. That's quite impressive. Let's go for a closer look. If you do want to come here and play golf, you're not allowed between mid-September until late April, and then you can play after that, I guess. That's some rules for you, and you know golfers love the rules. That is, whatever your thoughts on ecclesiastical buildings, that is really smart. That's somebody's designed that with lots of curves and swoops and statues and stuff. Love it. Mysteriously, you get a bit like that just looks out of place, looks much older. Probably isn't, but could be. It's the Berkeley Viewforth Church, apparently, but it's like they've had statues there and started there and then never finished it, but yeah. That is an amazing building. I've never really noticed it before. Well, I've noticed it, but I've never stopped to look at it, if you know what I mean. Looks cool from back here as well. Anyway, that is it for now. I'm heading down to meet Bex, and then we're heading back to Sunny Metal.
Well, that was a cracking day out in Edinburgh. Finished off with another train journey back home again. And now I'd like to transport you back in time a couple of weeks to a wee local thing that we did in Leven.
Apex predator greyhound has not even noticed. Never mind anything else. There's a pussycat just... De Niro. See pussycat? De Niro, you're a dog. That's a cat. He knows it's there, he started looking at it, but he's just not interested. You know, pussycat, enjoy the sunshine. This is the aftermath of Storm Amy. It's a bit nicer than it was yesterday. We're up bright and early jogging with our eBay deliveries. We've got to put all that in every locker before we go to Lethem Glen for their 100th anniversary run thing, which sounds like fun. Leaving High Street looking positively salubrious in the early morning. Yeah, lots of people on their way to work. Even in Leven there's wee bits of history. There's quite a lot of history in Leven, just most of it's been bulldozed and built on top of. Quick stop off for some breakfast. That is breakfast. This shop is usually pretty empty by the time we get into it. First thing on a Sunday morning it's fully stocked. I am now eating my bun. Bex is up there somewhere. That little red dot is her. She does like running more than I do. That's quite a cool building from the 1930s. You see over there the bee's nest, the beehive thing there. That's a symbolism for hard-working, industrious people who kept the sort of person that could afford to build a building like that in money. Leven High Street, as you can see, is now buzzing. Mind you, there's lots of people that hate running, that like running more than I do. And we have made it. That is Lethem Glen Park, which, as you've probably guessed, is 100 years old today or at some point. And I can only apologise for the pun because Bexy's running club is called Leven Las Vegas. Somebody thought that was hilarious. It is a very nice little Victorian pleasure ground. The only thing that's not nice about it is it's built on a great big hill, which we're going to have to run up and down no less than 3 times. It's 3 loops of the park. Yay. And once again, in my defence, it was her idea. If you're wondering why Bex is in a running club and I'm not, well, yeah. I don't really like people. Right, here we go. This is going to be, well, it's going to be done, I think is all it's going to be. It is, to be fair, a very nice park. I've never been to this bit of it. It's yeah, quite pretty and quite hilly. Not so keen on the hills. We've just been uphill all the way over there, where those people are. How could it all still be uphill? This defies the laws of physics.
Thank you.
Thanks, Marshall. Interesting wee folly buildings. Such a lot of work went into these places for the people of the shipyards of Metal and Leven to come and have a bit of fresh air. Although how fresh it would be surrounded by mills, I've got no idea. And 4.5k later, a bit short but never mind. Done it, medals, time to go home, yay!